Hey, what's going on? It's Good Ass Conversations. I'm Taylor. Today we got Sanaee.
Hello.
And today is November 9th, 2025, and we're in Oceanside. Welcome to the show, dude.
Thank you.
How's it going?
It is going great. I am enjoying being here, touching this grass.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
And being in your company and
Thank you, dude.
watching the water and the waves.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like a little bit overcast. So it's like, I don't know, like a nice day, but like a little different than what's considered like a nice Southern California day.
Yeah. I feel like overcast kind of like show things for what they are, because there's not like a filter over it, I suppose, like a colored lens. So on overcast days, I really just like looking at things, and everything just looks like an object.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a still life. And overcast days, I notice there's not like shadows. There's not very prominent shadows, which is cool.
Yeah, like all the diffused light and stuff like that. It changes like how you see everything. So
Yeah. I'm curious, I haven't watched your episode with Annabelle, but I'm wondering what are some insights you took away, or like some things you thought were interesting when you guys were talking about light.
So she was talking a lot about, there's so many interesting things, and really I need to talk to her again because I'm learning about light for photography and things like that.
For film cameras?
Yeah,
Oh,
for digital
cool.
cameras. I shoot mostly digital. Like, I love film, but it's like I'm trying to do stuff on the cheap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you.
I feel like film is great because it shows you the preciousness of shots.
Yeah.
And it has you think more about like what you want to take a picture of. And then when you're reviewing your stuff, I think it's like you put more intention and consideration into shots. But digital's great.
Like that, yeah.
What's up?
I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah. But with Annabelle, she's talking a lot about like light traveling through glass, and then like the filtering of light and stuff like that, and how different mediums change how light occurs. And then she's sort of getting at the vibrations of light and the vibrations of objects. And then I think she was also talking about the psychological effects of color, and then how the psychological effects of color sort of create certain moods and environments, and just the general crafting of environments. So almost like some interior design type stuff, but then sort of like arbitrarily the psychology of designing an environment. Yeah, so that's sort of what we got into, talking about light a little bit, which I think is cool because it's like I'm interested in creating a creative environment for me, like a studio. And how can I make the space so that it is attuned to what I need? Like, what are my base needs for a studio? And then how could I optimize a space to be very creative for myself and possibly for others? Like, how not only do I design a space for myself, but how could I design like a communal space? And then I feel like that's the more expansive version. Like on the lowest level versions, like how do I optimize like my room or my personal space to be creative? I feel like coming to California, like I've gone through this whole like journey of like having zero space. Like what do I do with no personal space to be creative? Like how can I create like having no space to decorate as my own, to having more and more space and better environments and discovering what's a better environment. It's like in a way I already sort of knew, but then it takes time to sort of connect to what I needed, you know, if that makes sense. Like for yourself, like how do you design your own personal space to be creative or to like inspire creativity or bring in creativity?
Well, first I'd like to say it's pretty awesome that like throughout your journey of being here, you're understanding your relationship with how do you make space for yourself when you don't have much around you. I think that's really beautiful, and to see yourself go through different stages is really fascinating, and also to hear it from an outsider's perspective. Like it like makes me happy, like I'm cheering for you. Yeah. I noticed with me, I was actually thinking about it this weekend, like I really want to rearrange my room. But to have an open wall, I think an open wall is important so you can stand up and paint.
Yeah.
But I don't know, sometimes I get into like this idea of my sister's room is very like meticulous and like very like white and dainty, and like she described my
You good?
Oh, it's so nice being able to see all the cars too.
Yeah.
But she described my room like a mushroom, like an underground.
Really?
Like, yeah, mushroom, which is cool because like cool things happen underground. But I don't know. For me, I just think I like to have an open space. Right now, my room is set. It's like a square, right? My room is set up. My bed is here, and I have like an open area.
Yeah.
Where I just make stuff.
Oh, cool.
Like can get my floor dirty because I put a carpet there.
Nice.
But for me, a space, lighting is important for me.
Yeah.
Lighting is important. I always like fairy lights in my room. Those are nice. Those make me feel warm. And I like having things accessible for me. So like when I'm making things, I can just go. Yeah. I don't know. I think for me, what makes a space nice and my own is having information available to me, I suppose. Like knowing I can cross over different mediums when I need to. I think as long as I have that, then I'm pretty set. Yeah. Cool. And a desk. A desk is necessary.
Desk is clutch.
Yeah, desks are.
What are the mediums that you work in right now?
Right now I am working on an oil painting of a dove.
Oh, cool.
And I originally wanted it to be like a kind of like in the style of during the Romantic era or the Renaissance era, like very Da Vinci inspired. But I question as I make it, like the meaning of it, I suppose, because doves symbolize, in my head, like doves typically symbolize peace. But what does that mean today? So I'm kind of having like an existential twist about it. Yeah. So I'm just trying to get information down before I like switch it up. But mostly oil painting, collage, I always go back to. I enjoy poetry and jewelry making. That's something pretty fun.
Nice.
But yeah, those are where I'm at right now. And charcoal is something I want to go back to. I really like charcoal.
Oh, really? What do you like about charcoal?
That it's messy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like that it's messy. And I guess it's in my head it's excusable because it's like you can't be mad at the charcoal for being messy, you know? So and I like that the mess can also be utilized. Like the dust from your shavings can be used to make shading. I really like that aspect, and like the fact that you can I think charcoal comes from like like a vine, right? I remember. Or there's different types?
There's different types. I think there's two. There's like vine charcoal and compressed.
Yeah. I don't know too much about the process of it, but like, I think the fact that like material that comes from the earth can be utilized is really interesting. Like it feels very like primal. I don't know if that's the word. It feels very. Is that the word for something like very early on?
Yeah, primal, or sometimes people use primitive, but sometimes I feel like that has like a weird connotation to it.
How so?
So like I feel like when people talk about art from like people of color or something like that, who don't want to adhere to formal Western practices or techniques of creating art, they'll refer to some of the technique as like primitive. And I think like the connotation is that it's like uncivilized. So it's not evolved in terms of culture or society or techniques or a certain level of consciousness. And I just can't like agree with some of that. You know, it's like sometimes I've looked at, like I like a lot of Latin or Afro-Latino painting and stuff like that. And they have like their own sort of school or own sort of like technique that they've developed through generations. And then I've been in like critiques or like, you know, around certain kinds of painters, and they're like, oh, like this has like a primitive style to it, and it's sort of like condescending. So sometimes I just don't fuck with it, like using the word primitive.
Yeah, I think like in the sense of how I'm trying to use it is like maybe ancient or like just something that's been used a long time ago, you know?
Yeah.
But I do see your perspective on like kind of words like that and their associations. I kind of wonder like also if being born into the conditions that I'm born into and who I am, like that's also another challenge in the art world. Like who am I in my art outside of what I've been taught and outside of what's seen as acceptable?
Yeah. I think that's a great question.
Which I see as a journey for everyone, I suppose, but
oh, for sure. Well, there's like stuff like it was interesting going into art for me because I went into it later, and a lot of things that I thought were very pretentious, like before I started going into art programs or institutionalized art education. Some things I thought that were pretentious before I grew to like, and then I think what going through those programs taught me is like an ability to start to engage with art regardless of where it comes from a lot of the time, and then also just like ultimately bringing some of that back where it's like, yeah, I don't fuck with this and that's okay. You know, it's like, I just don't rock with this and that's okay. You know? I don't have to like everything. I don't have to engage with everything. I don't need to. You know? I don't have to make space for everything. Yeah.
Sometimes I think I find myself in that space where I want to make space for everything because I question. Sometimes it's simple though. Sometimes you just don't like something because you don't like it or you don't resonate. But sometimes I question like, okay, why don't I like? For me, I always wonder like, why don't I like this? What is this showing me in this like external reality that's maybe somewhere within me?
Yeah.
But I guess it's a matter of like how I, if I absorb, maybe not if I absorb, but what I decide to do with that information.
Yeah.
Once I figure it out.
Well, I think this is touching back into what we were talking about before we started recording. It's like personal value And like you're talking about like connection to divinity, which also like expresses like a connection to what you find personally beautiful. And you know, I think everybody comes up with their own definition and ideas about art and beauty and divinity, and I think that's really cool. Like, I like that it's not just one way. Like, there's so much diversification. That's why I think art is really fucking cool, because it's like there's so many different worlds expressed. And you know, the more I've read about like sort of like philosophy and metaphysical things, it's like thinking about Sonder, like how other people experience and perceive life. You know, everybody has like their own version of the world, and we're able to relate on certain elements, and that's really cool. But I think it's really amazing that, you know, everybody's living their own worlds in like a shared reality. And there's so many different there's different ways to describe it, like so many different variations, like gradations or tones. And you know, the exploration and journey of trying to understand how you want to perceive the world and how like you want to experience the world, I didn't realize like that was even a possibility until I got older. You know, it's like I think so many things try to tell you how the world is instead of trying to explore what the world could be or how it could occur. And like I said before we started recording, it's like you can choose like how you want to experience and reflect back what occurs for you.
So in that realization, was that something, I know that you said that's something that you kind of realized when you got older, but is that something that you were able to kind of dissect through art, maybe, or through writing?
Yeah.
Or anything else?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's...
Or I guess my question is like, in understanding that you're able to choose the things, you're able to choose how you perceive your experience. I mean, I guess, does that just come from experience through living situations, or
Yes.
yeah, I think.
I wanted to wait because I feel like the next part of what you had to say was really good also. But I do think it comes from experience. And I think it's one of those things of like theory and practice. You know, it's like there's a lot of theory I've absorbed, and then I'm trying to understand what it's like to be, how to do. Like, there's all that theory, but then I'm trying to understand how to put it into action in my day-to-day life. Because it's like, I think it's sort of like, to say it simply, like standing on your square. You know, it's like, I think there are a lot of ideas that are trying to be strongly impressed on me a lot of the time. And like sometimes I'll absorb like different energy, and just understanding that that's just like a phase and not necessarily the practice. You know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just a phase. It's not necessarily like how you move continuing forward.
Yeah,
That's how I interpret it.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting that, like, I'm pretty grateful that we can convey our ideas through language. Like,
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. Like, I like that the words theory and practice exist, because I think that extends outside of, like, whatever you're pursuing, like, even in life. Like, I mean, I think that's what you were saying, honestly.
Yeah.
I think about it. But
Well, so let me ask you, like, part of why I started making visual art is I got into a space where I felt like I always felt very reassured in that I could convey myself through language. And then I encountered a series of events where I felt like language failed me. And then I discovered visual art as a way to sort of express things that I couldn't express through language. Do you feel like you have a similar sort of experience? Like you're able to express things visually that you can't express through language?
Yes. If I'm to think about it though, I feel like I'm kind of a little bit in the opposite.
Oh, really?
Of where, well, in the sense of like, I feel like, but this isn't salt, you know, so it's always going, but I feel like I'm able to express how I feel through my art, but I'm really craving how to do that through language.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's where like my fascination with psychoanalysis comes from.
Yeah.
But I think language, but there are definitely limits to both in a way. I think words can, like, especially when it comes to poetry, words can show you someone's perspective, and they're able to visualize it in their own imagination, like through a book, right?
Yeah.
But art, I think, is more subconscious.
Yeah.
I suppose. It's not like as direct as language can be. And sometimes I crave that directness because people aren't always receptive to the openness, or they don't always understand abstract ideas I'm trying to convey. But I feel like art for me is a way of I want to say dissecting how I perceive reality, because it's a lot. I feel like I take in, and it's like, okay, what do I do with this? Like, I can't, like, words can't always do it, you know?
Yeah.
I also think dance and movement is something that, like, transmutes that as well. That's something I want to start getting into, dance as well. I think dance is so beautiful.
What kind of dance?
I really like ballet.
Oh, cool.
I think, like, the theatric, ballet though is so, like, there's such a, of course there's a world behind it, but it takes so much dedication to get something that looks so graceful.
Yeah.
Like, I've tried to teach myself, and I'm like, oh my god, like, this is really, like, props to the ballerinas, because it's not as easy as it looks, you know? But I really enjoy, like, the stage design that comes with that, how the music complements the movement. I love that. I really do.
Have you seen ballet in person?
I haven't. I really want to.
I do too. Like, I've wanted to go to an actual ballet to see what it's like in person.
Or opera.
Yeah, I've been to the opera twice. That's pretty cool, but I'd like to go again.
In San Diego or California?
No, in Texas.
Oh, sick.
I saw Don Giovanni and had to leave early. And Don Giovanni's actually one of my favorite operas. Because I didn't like opera for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then I realized that it's not that I don't like opera, it's that there's certain, I don't know if you call them plays, but there's certain stories that I like better than others.
Yeah.
And some that I don't fuck with at all.
Yeah.
So.
I hear that.
I like the observation that you made about ballet. It's like when you witness a performance or you see a ballet dancer, it just seems that so fluid and natural and grace. But the idea like grace can come through repetition and discipline. You know, it doesn't always necessarily just flow freely or innately.
Yeah.
It can be something that you can build.
that makes me think of the word refinement and how it makes me hold a mirror to myself and how I create my art. Because sometimes I feel like I can rush to the part where I just want to refine it, but it's like, why would you want to refine something that and it can be situational, but like I tell myself, why would you want to refine something that can be made into something richer by just being patient?
Yeah. Well, I was talking with Mikey about this last week, like embracing certain styles in drawing, and sometimes like the raw, unrefined can be more interesting than the super polished version. I think it just depends on like what you're attuned to, or like what you're perceiving, like how your perception is like tuned, like what you're looking for in those moments or that period or phase of your life.
Hey, I like your palm tree.
Like earlier, before we started recording, we were also talking about language and like the limits of language, and I think like to bring it together, I feel like a lot of the conversation we've been talking about is just like communication. And to me, like visual art has its own language. We're talking about like the language of money and stuff like that. We're talking about how different languages hold different ideas and like their limits and like their positives or their possibilities. What ideas do you think you're trying to explore right now that are tied to certain languages? If that makes sense. I feel like this.
What ideas am I trying to explore now that are tied to certain languages?
Yeah.
I feel like for Spanish, I feel like there's a lot of poetry within words. Like one word could mean like a whole line of poetry. And I feel like that's what I'm looking for. I guess language that's not so rigid in explaining emotions is what I'm searching for.
Are there any sort of emotions that you're specifically interested in?
I feel like I'm interested in more words for happiness. I feel like there's a lot of words that are beautiful that can convey sadness and despair or suffering that I also still appreciate. But I would like to have more words in my vocabulary that are attributed to the fulfilling aspects of life that are filled with joy or like wonder. I think having those words in like my word bank would be very helpful in how I perceive the world. Because I know lots of verbs on how to describe sorrow, which is still nice, but it's like I think I want some of the opposite, you know?
Do you feel like why specifically are you interested in those, like joy and happiness, and exploring that?
I mean, maybe I think just to align myself with another frequency. But I think part of me also has to be honest with myself in knowing that I'm not always, I haven't always like ever been like, I don't know, very like uppity charisma all the time.
Yeah.
And I think I'm searching for that. And I know it exists within me. But if I'm honest with myself, like that's just not always how I am, you know? So, but I think I'm looking for words that resonate with being in between, I suppose. In between.
Like balanced or like?
In between, I guess like, like existential dread and also
What, euphoria?
and euphoria, yeah, and like just looking for words in between that spectrum.
Oh, you're just trying to understand the spectrum.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
exactly. I'm
Okay.
trying to get past binary thinking.
I feel you.
Maybe not past, but like work through. Expand my horizons.
Yeah. It's interesting because it's like there's a podcast I did with Mike Smack, and we were talking about people's ability to relate to specific emotions. And he was talking about, like I think that people can easily relate to joy and happiness. And I was like, I feel like it's easier for people to relate to pain and sorrow because from my perspective, looking at humans like right now, I feel like more people have experienced pain and sorrow than happiness or joy. And then just like coming from, the inner city, growing up in Texas, like I noticed a lot of people who just didn't have any happiness or joy in their lives, in specific environments. And I wondered if they'd ever really experienced that, it's like some people just have to grow up in different kinds of situations. So I thought that was interesting because like really for myself, what I'm trying to develop is like enjoyment and joy in my practice of creating. And in the past, a lot of it's been like really just like cathartic expression. So like I have these emotions, I don't know how to deal with them, I don't know how to define or explain them. By making the art, I'm able to understand that I'm even feeling that. And then I'm able to sort of put that to a material and then like just feel like it's out of me. But now it's more so like I'm trying to understand how to cultivate joy for myself. And then can that be experienced in my practice? Like I had a professor who was like, so when I was younger, I used to make dark stuff all the time, and I just realized my head was like in a dark spot, and I just got over that. So I sort of understand like the momentum of like focusing in on a certain emotion and like creating things based on that specific emotion. I've like tried to curtail myself away from making darker things because it's like I want my head to be in like a better headspace and mindset, but still not fully understanding how to generate that for myself. So I've been curious, and sort of why I've been asking people. It's like, hey, like, how does it occur for you?
That's something that I'm also working towards. I think honoring that aspect of like honoring that aspect of maybe like the darker things or the shadow side of what you can make is important. And I'm kind of like going through a similar change. I feel like a lot of stuff that I was making before was revolved around death and like my fascination with it.
Yeah.
But now I've tried to shift. How do I depict life? Like, how do I interpret that? And maybe symbols are important. That could maybe help.
I think symbols are very important. I think symbols are the language of the subconscious, or like the language of...
Wait, after this real quick, I want to ask you about any dreams you've had.
Oh, for sure.
Cool.
I think like symbols are like a language, Sometimes I think not only of like where you're from, I don't even know how to say like locally, but like where you're from spiritually, if that like makes sense.
Like spiritually relating to the individual's journey, or like your culture and maybe like ancestors beforehand?
Both.
Okay.
Because I feel like both exist. There's symbols that only apply to you, won't apply to you after you're gone. And then there's symbols that apply to your family. There's symbols that apply to like your cultural heritage. And like there's symbols that apply to me as like a Texan or like, you know, someone from Dallas, or just someone who's lived in Southern California and has experienced Oceanside. Like I understand some of the symbols of like this culture, even though I didn't grow up in this culture. But recently I was listening to like the Dan Houser interview, and he's like someone who's like a writer. He wrote for a lot of famous video games, and he said something really interesting. He was like, I don't trust anybody who's interested in building a utopia because they want to dismiss all of the shadow or like the dark aspects of humanity. And like I've just been mulling that over, and it's like thinking about like my creative practice. I think I went from being very like focused on trying to explore the shadow and appreciate the shadow, and like, you know, death. I feel like death is something you think about a lot for a lot of artists, and then being afraid of like being trapped into like a certain mind state or like a emotional cage, and then wanting to go in the other direction, but then realizing now is sort of like, yeah, I'm still repressing that other aspect. So it's like,
yeah. How do you like? Sorry, keep going.
No, ask your question.
I was thinking like, how do you hold space? How do you how do you like make sure both are being represented in a way?
I don't know. Like I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But like in talking to you, like this is what I'm realizing. You know, it's like even though I've been trying to like transcend binary thinking, like unconsciously I've been doing it. You know, yeah.
I know. The brain is very tricky.
Yeah, facts.
Very tricky. Especially like that's what I also think about psychoanalysis too. It's like, okay, like you're finding out why you're having these thoughts, or like, okay, why do I interpret this way? But also you're the one analyzing yourself. So like,
Right.
I don't know. It's also a thing. It's also like a maze.
Yeah, I think it can be. Do you ever feel like so have you
It can be, yeah.
have you read a lot of books on psychoanalysis, or
I had a book that I like cut up and collaged for something, but
oh cool.
I'm like interested in. I actually found this video on Black psychoanalysts, and
like African American?
Oh,
cool.
and I thought that was really cool because in their field they mentioned how like other people always tie their practice back to slavery, and that's not. They're trying to like expand the bounds of psychoanalysis outside of that, but they recognize like, okay, that was something that was major and affects generations, but they also respect the fact that there's like you can continue to build your identity. Like that's not the only story that's tying you down, you know?
Absolutely.
But I guess I'm just really interested in like how I interpret things in order to manipulate it.
Yeah. That's the other thing that's like really interesting about this photography book that I'm reading. The author describes photographers as people who manipulate light, similar to how a musician manipulates sound. And then they directly say that painters are different than photographers, and that painters aren't manipulating light like photographers. I sort of disagree a little bit with that, because I feel like when you get deep into oil painting, you understand that it's all about light, you know, and building layers to reflect light in a very specific manner. So I think that's just sort of like the author's shortcoming of understanding like the history of painting a little bit. But I just thought that one line of like photography is the manipulation of light is very interesting. Yeah.
I could see that. My friend's a photographer, and he shoots for Outsider magazine.
Oh, cool.
And like, I really admire how he, like his eye. It's very beautiful. It's very personal, which I enjoy. Like the portraits that he does, like the way people's faces are highlighted. It's just like how you're talking to them in a conversation. But if you were to just take a photo, it wouldn't capture it, you know?
Can you,
oh, sorry.
No, just tilt it towards you.
Tilt it this way?
Yeah, you good. No, you don't. You can cover it.
Cool.
Yeah, so I sort of wanted to, like, what's your background like ethnicity-wise?
My dad's side, his mom was an immigrant from Guyana, which is in South America, and is considered like Caribbean, but it's like attached to South America, so it's kind of its own thing. But yeah, and his dad was from Georgia, and then my mom, on my mom's side, her lineage is mostly from Spain.
Oh, interesting.
But her dad was from Albania, but she doesn't know too much about her dad. But like, I don't know. I really appreciate my culture, but I don't understand it very much. So that's something that I'm also trying to learn. But I think it's pretty fascinating that like I have an idea. I'm grateful for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just noticed like you were talking about like black psychologists, and I was like, you know, not everybody takes the time to like invest in or look up, you know, differing perspective in the realm of psychology. And I wonder if that also extended to like your influences when it comes to like writing and like painting and stuff like that. Collage.
I think maybe it's part of being human, but I feel like I look for people in the field of something that I'm interested that kind of look like me.
Yeah.
Just to see like, oh, okay, you know. In fact, that's part of like what inspires me to keep going and try to like do my best to try and be able to inspire women and also people from Guyana. I feel like there's not very much representation that I've seen. We're just like, you know, people of color.
Yeah.
You know, people of the majority population that aren't represented. I'd like to be part of the collective voice.
That's cool.
But do you have you always had a strong connection with your cultural background? Or is it something that you feel like you're continuously understanding?
It's something that like do you feel like a strong pride or connection to like where you come from?
That's kind of what I'm curious about for you.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you first.
I think I do, but I think for me, I can say that, but I want to be able to back it up in having that knowledge about my culture instead of just claiming it as part of who I am. So that's what I'm searching for.
Oh, I see. Like you want to like learn about it before you claim it. That's cool. So like I think in the past I took and still do take pride in like who I come from. Like the origins is mysterious and like changing. So it's like my mom's side of the family is very clear on where they come from. Like they came over to Texas from Germany during the I'm blanking on it now. There was like a hurricane in like 1772 or something like that, and there was like a lot of German ships that came during that time. So like my mom is like Texas German, and she's white, and then my dad is black, but his family is very mixed. And all I know is where they come from within the States and stuff like that. And there's a lot of like, you know, varying types of ethnic backgrounds in that mix. Like there's Native American, there's Indonesian, there's Irish. So it's like his family is like very mixed, but it's like trying to understand the origins is like nobody has the answers, you know? So it's more so like there's this ever-evolving mythos of different personalities that I'll hear stories of. And there's what I've been able to observe in, you know, my own family members' personalities and stuff like that. And it's like in times of distress, like I've definitely leaned in on like my father's family's personality characteristics. Like they have flaws for sure, but I do definitely pull a lot of some of my strength to get through hard times from that side of my family. But then I also think I pull some of like my intelligence from like my mom's side of the family. So like I'm like a regular mulatto and stuff like that. But what's interesting to me is like I always wanted to know more, but like I'm trying to also be vague because I don't want to put too much like on air and stuff like that.
For sure.
And like I'll tell you a little bit after the podcast, like if you're interested.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's just sort of like I think a lot of like Black Americans don't really have access to like their cultural lineage and stuff like that, or where they come from.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. I think it's like you just like sort of lean into the things that you like, you know? And it's like I think it's good to understand and notice, and I think this applies to anybody, like understand and notice like the flaws of like your family, but also I don't prescribe to the idea of like genetics denotes like destiny.
Yeah.
I think it can influence, but just because you come from a certain background doesn't mean like you're destined to end up like them. And that's what I wanted to say on that. So, but like you'd asked about dreams and stuff like that, and vivid dreams. Oh, that's cool. Vivid dreams sort of like run in my family.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's really cool. Do you guys talk about them, or?
From time to time. I feel like I used to talk about it with my mom a lot more. Now not as much, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like being grown and just having adult stuff to do.
Yeah.
And then every time I've talked about it with my dad's side of the family, it's very like mysterious. It's like, oh, we don't talk about it this much, but here's what, you know, happened with me recently. Sometimes we'll get into it. I think it's always cool when we get into it. So
dreams are I felt like a very direct way to connect with someone's subconscious.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's really interesting what you were saying before about like your cultural or your heritage, like, and it made me think about the relationship people have with their parents and like how they interpret their creators.
Like,
sorry.
no, you good.
Okay. Like how they interpret their creators and what their creators have brought into their existence.
Yeah.
I think that's like a super interesting way to phrase it. It's like what your creator has brought into their existence, and like it doesn't necessarily mean what you as a creator will bring into your existence, or to be limited by what they brought into theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it just like opens it up more.
I really like what you just said there.
Yeah, because just learning more about mindset and the brain and stuff like that. Like, to me, like different schools of psychology are frameworks, or you know, you could call them houses. And like your thoughts, just like language, your thoughts can run differently in different kinds of frameworks or houses. And then sometimes you can understand the possibilities of those frameworks or houses. And I think for myself, like I don't always understand the possibilities, but sometimes I understand the limits. And sometimes I question what are the limits, and then also look and see how do I like my thoughts when I run them through this house or this framework? You know, does that work for me? Because in terms of seeking or like trying to build a foundation for my own house, you know, just like trying different things out and seeing what creates the best mindset. And I think when you can't imagine it possible for yourself, you can't like bring it into reality. You know, like if you don't believe in yourself as a painter, like you're not gonna make paintings that you love.
Yeah. Like it influences your output.
Yeah.
That would make sense. That makes a lot of sense. That's like, it makes me think of like a smoothie. Like if you put something really nasty in the smoothie and you drink it and you expect a good smoothie, like it wouldn't make sense, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes when you're trying to like make your own smoothie recipe, you gotta try different things.
True. Very good point. Very good point. Very good point. So I wonder what the last dream you had was, if you can remember, or a dream maybe that you feel like you thought about often.
Well, I've tried to write my dreams down. Like I'm very fascinated by dreams, and like there've been periods of, you know, Marcos was asking me about this actually.
Oh really?
Yeah, and but there's been periods of times in my life where I feel like my dreams are very, like I'm in tune with what they're trying to tell me and I understand. And then I will get back to that point, but right now it's sort of like I don't fully understand what my dreams are telling me. Sometimes I do. And I'll just tell you the dream that I had last night, the pieces that I remember. Because I wrote it down this morning and I don't quite understand. So like the dream started off and I only remember fragments. The first fragment I remember, there was a younger woman who's like my grandmother, who's passed, RIP. And she was coming back to Texas and she had some issues with dealing with substances. And now she was like in the process of like acquiring land, even though it seemed like a mobile home or something like that. And then she was being confronted with the temptation of substances or addictions. And when I was writing it down this morning, I was like, this is really weird, because Like I don't think my grandma was really in Texas like that. And while she had struggles, I don't think she ever really struggled with substances. You know, so like trying to zoom out and think about it metaphorically is more of like, oh, this is like a story. You know, and it's like, what can I think about when I stop taking the idea of like whatever imposing the image of my grandmother onto this story and just think about it less personally. This is a character and like a return, and then trying to put into action lessons learned in the past and overcome an obstacle. You know, like, what does that mean for me? And like then the second part of the dream, I was like this white dude, and I was driving on this highway towards the ocean in Texas again, and it didn't look like Texas at all. Like a lot of the ocean in Texas is like murky, it's gray, and this was like clear water, almost like a lake, like clear water. And there was this highway, and the highway went straight to the coast, and right before you got to the place where everybody swam, which was almost like a little body of water, just a little bit inset from the coast, the highway went up. So it's like you couldn't drive over that.
Over the water?
Over the hump in the highway.
Oh, okay.
It almost like broke like a drawbridge.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we had to get out of the car, and I was with this woman who was also white, and she was like heavy set or whatever. And as we were climbing up the drawbridge aspect of the highway, I reached the top, and then I could see what was in the distance, and I was like, oh, I've been here before. And then I turned back to her, and I was like, oh, like this is really exciting. Like you're in your healing journey. This is a point of healing for you. You're in your healing journey. I've been here before, and I'm excited to see what happens for you as you experience this phase of your journey. That's what I said to her in so many words. And then it cut again, and then I'm looking at sort of like this small town. I don't know if you're familiar with different places of Texas. It was almost like San Antonio-esque, or like more big city than San Antonio. But there was this house that was almost built like a church, but it was all made out of gray stones. And then
were they laid like brick, or were they like round, like cobblestone?
Honestly, they looked more like cobblestones, but they were so neat, it was like brick. And it looked like a newer building, but it had a very like old feeling, like the idea of like a space that's been used for different functions. Like it was someone's home, then it was a church, then it was someone's home again. Yeah. But all the windows were stained glass in like this building, and they were very colorful stained glass. So it was like a sharp contrast to how the building looked. The building was gray, and all the windows were colorful stained glass. And I just got like this religious overtone, and there was some sort of like get together or like house party at this house, and that's like all I remember. Like that's all I remember from my dreams.
Wow. This was all last night?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you have a pretty good memory, like recalling that.
Well, like it's interesting, like when I was at my last job and I was dating this one woman for a while, like there was 6-7 months where I didn't remember my dreams at all. And like that was concerning for me. And it was interesting because a lot of stuff happened in those 6-7 months that I feel like typically like my dreams would be giving me the heads up of. So it was, to me, it's like, it just seemed like I was like a little bit disconnected from myself. But it could also have been a number of things, like how my room was arranged, you know, like my sleeping habits and stuff like that. But yeah, like that was my dream from last night. I've been having vivid dreams all week and stuff like that. It's cool. Like I don't always rock with them, but I feel like there's been I feel like this season of dreaming has been like some pretty interesting conversations or messages that I don't completely understand, but it seems cool. Yeah.
For your first dream, like that was interesting to me because like when I was taking notes, I had this word tempt that I was like I drew out. So I feel like maybe temptation is a word that's coming back around for both of us if we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
But that's really interesting. When you look at it objectively, I like how you do that and kind of remove the association, so then you can see like subjectively, okay, what's happening in order for me to interpret it. That's something that I can apply to my how I interpret my dreams. And then for your second dream, I think that's a pretty epic visualization. And I noticed bodies of water in dreams are also important. Especially if they're like chaotic or like still, you know. But I like that image that your brain came up with of the road kind of being broken off.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me think like the road being broken off, it was not like your road to be crossed, it was for the other person. And that's why there was like a break. But you recognize that I've been here before. I think that's really beautiful, and that feeling of cheering someone on and knowing because you've been there.
Yeah. Or
like you see where it can go. Like that's how I felt earlier when you were telling me about your evolution of space.
Oh, cool.
While you were in California, like that feeling of happiness. Yeah.
Well, it's like I was sort of like miffed at the dream. Like
the whole dream or the second?
All of like sort of the fragments, because at first I was just like I was taking certain things personally, and it's like I love Texas and I'll always love Texas. I'm not trying to go back to Texas, you know, at this phase of my life, and I don't necessarily have plans to. Like I would love to have the funds to be able to go visit as much as I want and go see like my loved ones and the people that I rock with and stuff like that. But I'm just trying to move through different spaces and like build a foundation for myself so that like I have options, you know, and or not, options, but also ultimately seeking the place that's or the spaces that are going to be the best for me. With what I want to do. And I think like part of being here is like this fear of like failure and like having to go back, which I'm like getting over.
And you're not alone in.
Yeah.
I feel that too sometimes. I don't know others do. But continue.
Yeah. And then it's just sort of like, you know, I have a lot of respect for my grandma, and I know she had like her battles and stuff like that, but it's just weird when something that may not have been their life is applied to them.
Yeah.
So it's like sort of offensive, and it's like, oh, you're going back, and then this other thing of like being a character that I'm not, and like living a lifestyle which I don't have an issue with, but it's like also doesn't apply to me.
Yeah.
It's more so like giving me insight into different types of people. But then also it's like, so how much of this dream is for me?
Yeah.
You know, and how much of it is about understanding other things? And then the stained glass, you know, it's like I only have like a few people in my life that do stained glass, so it automatically makes me think of them. But maybe also, again, like I think everything about this dream is like zooming out instead of like
interpersonal connections.
Yeah. And it's like the idea of like a gray house. It's like we've been talking a lot about light, you know, like you started off the podcast conversation with the question about light, and then the idea of science, and then we've been talking about symbols. I think a lot of the time, you know, the inner light of someone's being, you know, like the light of consciousness. I think like whilst, you know, like stained glass is typically like tied to religion, it's also belief. You know, like a gray house, maybe like a mundane life or like a mediocre life, but then given the right color, you know, given the right light that shines into it, maybe the inside of the house is very vibrant. You know, it's like talking to you, I realized like the metaphors of the dreams can go in so many different directions, and they're much more expansive than maybe like my initial emotional reactions to the dreams and stuff like that.
I want to get more into this. I do have to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Somebody go use the bathroom.
Yeah. All right, so we're back.
Hello, we're back. Had to take a little break. But what you were saying about like your like the stained glass part in your dream. I feel like I've had a similar dream, and I feel like stained glass is like, I feel like it's an important symbol.
How so?
I feel like it symbolizes maybe like a preview of the soul from the inside, but like kind of like a thin barrier so you can see it on the outside. Because when you were talking about like that architecture that was made of those gray stones, it kind of made me think of a body.
Yeah.
And how a body can look like on the outside, but on the inside there's so much going on. And you said like in the inside there was like, I think you said like kind of community going on, or like.
Well, that was the idea, like, you know, like a community type event was about to happen. I had no idea what the inside was like. You know?
But you could feel it, like that's what was.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like I was having like a bird's eye view of like the street and the property, and it was almost like I was someone who's gonna go to this event, but I didn't know anything else to do.
That's mysterious.
Yeah.
That's mysterious. That's really cool though. That makes me think of like the scale of life, and like that building can be interpreted as a body. Like, I'm saying body you're going into, that's not what I'm trying to say. Like something that you're going into that's kind of like part of a larger whole. And I feel like that's replicated throughout life in different ways.
Absolutely. Like I feel, it makes me, when you say body, like I think about like cells and organization and stuff like that. Like our body is full of cells, but certain cells group together to make different organs or different structures and stuff like that. Just like people, you know, it's like we're all individuals, but then we also come together as groups to do certain things. You know, like work certain jobs or be a part of certain professions. And, you know, like some people think it's hippy-dippy, but I feel like the earth is its own sentient being.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
And we're so like tapped into our experience of living, you know, sometimes I don't think we think about the whole, or we have like, you know, certain ideas or perceptions about the entirety of our group or like human experience, but that may not be the case.
Sorry, you said that may not be the case. What may not be the case?
Well, I think, you know, some people have like opinions about like what's the best thing for the earth, but you know, we only have like a part of the story or like a part of the information, and I don't have like the big picture of what the earth is totally, so like how can I really speak on that truly?
I don't think anyone does though, you know. I don't think anybody does. But I think like the insights that you do have are still to be respected in a way, you know?
Absolutely.
But yeah.
So like you talk a lot about you really appreciate collaboration. Like what's been your experience of collaboration so far?
So my experience of collaboration that I'm getting it most often is at my job. I have to work with people on like their writing that can be very personal, and I often communicate with people who don't understand the ideas that I'm trying to convey to them.
Okay.
Because our communication styles are different, and like how we interpret words aren't the same. Some people are very linear, especially when it comes to feedback.
Yeah.
And instead of looking for kind of abstract ideas for that I propose to them for them to build upon, they're looking kind of just like for set directions. And it challenges me to think about my words and how I convey them in order for the person to understand me as well. So it's been a challenge, honestly. It's been a challenge, but I'm grateful for it because it forces me to learn how to communicate outside of my art.
Yeah.
With people who aren't maybe receptive to art or care to take time to interpret art, and what it means to them. But I've been enjoying it. Like I have to work with different people who are different from myself, and then it challenges any beliefs that I have about someone based off of first meeting them, or just really makes me think about how to communicate with people who don't think like me.
Yeah.
And then we still have to make that bridge. I think the bridge is what's challenging but fulfilling.
Interesting.
That like nourishes me.
Interesting.
And sometimes it doesn't build, and that's okay too. Like I was kind of down on myself in the beginning because I was like, that wasn't a very good interaction, but like it's not always gonna be done the first time around, you know?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with failing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like any like failed interaction doesn't necessarily mean like future interactions will also fail.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a good reminder because sometimes the body thinks that, at least my body will like remember that event and kind of like close off, but it's not always going to be the same every time, you know?
Yeah. I think it's interesting how you're talking about like building individual bridges between different people and stuff like that. And it just sort of made me think about like, what about you're making the bridge in yourself? You know, it's like, but abstractly talking about is like the bridge of making bridges. You know, it's like.
Yeah, that is a bridge that exists. I know what you're talking about, for sure. I think that's what I enjoy about collaboration, the bridge that I have to build to make bridges.
It's interesting because it's like, I sort of don't take the bridge into account, like the road or the connection and stuff like that. I usually just like think about like, well, how's it flowing right now? You know, it's like, is it easy? Like, if it's not workable, like don't force it, you know? And I think that's just come from like a lot of experience of like trying to force, you know, like making stuff happen. So like so it's like you're sort of like focused on collaboration in non-creative spaces?
Yes.
As a way of communication?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
it's good practice for me. I'm grateful to the universe for this job because it really forces me to like look at the shadow aspect of, maybe not the shadow, but like like that blind spot. It forces me to look into that blind spot and how I interact with the world and other people. And it's something that I need in order to move forward in life and make connections. Yeah, especially with people that like I may not immediately connect with.
What kind of people would you say like you easily connect with?
I like people that are just like themselves loudly.
Yeah.
I really am very expressive. I love that because I feel like they're. Oh, I just saw like a dolphin fin or like a shark fin.
Yeah.
Bro. Do you see that? A dolphin over there.
To the left?
Right here, look. Let's see if it'll come up again. Yeah.
Oh,
you see
yeah, I see them. It's like a group.
Dolphins.
It's like 3 of them. That's tight. Yeah, like how the skyline looks right now is really cool.
Right?
There's a lot of mist, and then in certain sections it's really light, and it just makes it give that infinite effect. You know, like. That's cool. It's interesting. It's not like cinematic. It's not like painting-esque. I don't know how to describe it. It's,
this, like what we're looking at right now?
Yeah.
It reminds me of like a video game when you're walking and then as you walk forward, more parts of the map unlock.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of right now.
It's cool. So you interested? So it's like really like a matter of like unlocking self-expression, and then like you already understand like a portion of how you are and how you operate, but then sort of like trying to move that into new spaces with different kinds of people. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah,
like,
and also trying to like expand upon what I know, because like the fact that like I can say like I know parts of myself, but I don't want to get into the trap of like crystallizing into this personality. I may not even. That's not even fully like developed yet, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah. I would like to collaborate with more people artistically, though. I think that'd be really fun.
What kind of mediums are you interested in, like collaborating with people creatively?
Any. I'm open to any, but I really like airbrushing. My sister's cousins do airbrushing, so I'd love to like get into that a little bit. I think a painting would be really cool. Collaborating on a painting as well. I would love to illustrate a poetry book, though.
Oh,
that's
really?
Like, that's like on top of one of like my list, or like make a graphic novel.
Yeah. It's a lot of work, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know. I'm open to collaboration. I think they're really fascinating. Math. I think something to do with math would be cool.
How would you collaborate on math?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I feel like math is something that's like I want to open up more. Like I went to a school that had a lot of focus on math, like high school. It was like a science and engineering school. But I also understand like math I only need math to a certain degree. You know, they were talking about like vector calculus and things like that. Variable calculus, which I always struggled with calculus. I don't think I need a lot of calculus in my life.
That's fair. Yeah. It's not something you really like have to do every day, I suppose. I don't really know too much about calculus, so.
Well, from what I can describe, like calculus is good at describing how things move like liquids through certain
Like velocity?
forms. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And
It's pretty crazy you can measure the speed of that.
yeah, math is like a crazy language.
I feel like it's the very, very analytical, like, I feel like that's like for, like when you really want to know the answer. Like other stuff, it's like, okay, but like math is like, no, that's like exact.
I also think like math can take you into certain frequencies of thought or like states of thinking or realms of being that can be very trippy or psychedelic, but also very like analytical or logical.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I do like the kind of like
Math, the gateway drug.
yeah, literally. I do like the I don't know if stability is the right word, but like I guess it reminds of like a pillar. I like the pillar of it, like the strength of it, I suppose. Like the fact that if you do this and this, then you can get this answer. Or I don't know. I just think it's really cool. It's like the script behind something.
Oh yeah, like the code.
Yeah,
or like,
the code.
Like you said, the script, the screenplay, or the stage play. Yeah.
Very cool. I'm very like that makes me happy that humans are kind of like they're drawn to certain I'm gonna use the word houses of existence that help build up the whole. Like I feel like having a focus in math really helps kind of create things so it can be like something standardized so it can be shared over like all over. And I feel like that's like one kind of frequency, and then I feel like you have science that analyzes like I guess math and science both analyze the nature of certain aspects, but I feel like math encompasses like more general things like speed or light or weight or gravity.
Yeah.
So like those forces that are measured, those forces that can be measured, and then you have science that measure like the forces in nature and animals, biology, and then you have art that kind of explores the subconscious and the human experience and emotions. And then you have language.
That's a good thing right there.
Then you have language. Then you have language that kind of like, okay, then it's like, I guess the bridge that conveys all of it. But I do like that they're different like frequencies that all come together and build part of a whole.
Oh yeah. It's fascinating.
Which is necessary. Which gets me out of the trap in thinking that like I can do something alone. Because you can do some things alone, but like you need other people.
Absolutely.
That's something I have to like tell myself often.
It's like there's certain projects that I realize I feel like I've always sought and wanted collaboration, especially like in multiple aspects of life. You know, mostly in like creative projects. And I noticed like I've struggled to attract collaboration when I'm not actively working on something solo.
You struggle to attract collaboration when you're not actively working on something. Okay.
And feeling frustrated when it's like I'll have initial collaboration and then those people fall off or something like that.
I've had that too.
So many times.
Yeah.
So many times.
I won't lie though and say it's not like kind of a reciprocal thing in a way. But expand on that more and then I'll talk a little bit about it.
Well, it's like now I realize like I think that's how I got into making fine art consistently, because it's like I tried doing film before, and it was before, you know, like YouTube really popped off and stuff like that, and people got good at making video solo, or I didn't have the imagination to make video solo, but just like getting frustrated and trying to make projects, and then it's like, how do I do all of this alone?
Yeah.
But then not really realizing it's like, well, I can work on the prep, you know, it's like I can work on the writing aspect, or I can work on the designing aspect and stuff like that. You know, I can keep developing the project, but sort of being self-defeatist, and that's like looking at what's around me in that moment and seeing lack instead of seeing possibility.
Yeah.
Or like seeing space to use that time to, you know, work on other aspects of that project. It's just like my head was like in the wrong space. But it's like when it came to art, I was like, well, I can just do this solo. You know, it's like I don't need other people to help me make this stuff.
Sorry.
No, you're good. But then, you know, it's like still wanting the same thing. I feel like certain wants don't go away just because like you change like the color, or like you change the space.
Yeah.
Yeah, you change the time. Yeah, I realized now it's sort of like it's switched where it's like, oh, I need to do a lot of solo work so I attract the people that want to collaborate. And you know, that's true and it's not true. You know, I realized like, yeah, like doing the solo work will attract the people, but at the same time, like it's more so like an energy thing. It's like a perspective thing, and also like loosening the grip on the desire. You know, it's like I want it, but I don't need it. Like I'm cool either way with the collaborating and the visual space of the things that I want to collaborate on. You know, right now I'm really just trying to learn to like trust the universe and see that it will deliver, but just like feeling that in my body too. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Because it's one thing to think it, and then it's one thing. What's one thing to believe it, and then it's one thing to think it, and then it's one thing to really believe it.
Yeah.
You know. I hear that. It's also situational, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I think you know when you're ready to open up space. With another person to make something together, you know?
True. I think so too. I think a lot of the time, like, you know how to, you have like an initial knowing of what something could be, or just how you have indicators, I think, and sometimes like you're more aware of them and sometimes you're less aware of them. And then I think sometimes you really aren't sure, and you just need to try it to see where it goes and stuff like that. Especially if like you've gone through like rough situations or have had like rough experiences and like you have a hard time trusting. Yeah. Or yeah.
Sorry. I was gonna say, do any come to mind, but I don't know if you want to talk about that on this podcast.
Like professionally or personally?
I'm gonna ask personally first.
Well, I feel like the most easy thing to talk about is like dating and like trying to like get a partner or something like that. You know, like I'm older and like dating has changed, and a lot of it has become like meeting people online and stuff like that. And I feel like having gone through certain experiences where it's like I've been hurt or have hurt other people, it has so that I'm not as trusting or something like that. And I think really personally, talking about myself, like I think I don't anticipate being as accepted as much as I would like to in like a successful encounter or relationship. You know, like
I hear you on that.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit about that talking to you today.
Really?
Yeah. Just kind of like I guess the fear of acceptance in a way. But continue, because I like that train of thought. But I like how you phrased that, like how you notice that you're not as receptive to the possibility of someone else accepting you as much as you'd like for it to be.
Yeah. And I think just like what it is like having hard experiences, and then those hard experiences having a somatic effect. And so that's like a physical feeling in my body. And those are persistent physical feelings. And then it has me shape my personality a certain way. So then I don't feel like I'm being myself in every moment, or like I even have a limit in being myself. And like, I'm not afraid of failure, but I am afraid of making things worse than what they've already been. You know, like I've had, like rejection is cool, you know, like I'm not afraid of it. I like things to go well. They don't have to go well all the time. But also I realize like you can get in a momentum where things go well consistently. Or like you can choose how to describe something. Like finding the silver lining. Or like still treating it like something that you've learned or success in one way. So I think more so it's like I struggle to feel and be myself just because of past experiences. And you know, I think there are certain expectations of me as a man in trying to find a heterosexual relationship at a certain age. Like I'm in my late 30s, and I think there are expectations of me being at a certain point in my life financially, and a certain point in my life career-wise. And I know that I have a lot to offer and a lot of value, and I think it's just spread over a lot of different areas. And I'm not trying to like, no, just like what I have to offer.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not trying to like throw everything I have at someone when I'm first meeting them.
Yeah.
You know, like I definitely try to be much more reserved, and then just try to show up, you know. And like I think I've definitely, even though I have internal experiences, like I'm typically sort of open with people, you know. So it's really just like a lot of, like you were talking about, like where my mind is and what like I think of in terms of what's possible, and theory versus practice. And when I talk about theory versus practice in this instance, it's sort of like theory being my mindset, and then practice being like my nervous system. So it's like, what can my nervous system take on? And learning how to strengthen and regulate my nervous system so it can take on more of those good things, instead of like trying to project disaster or fear into the future. You know, it's like I think it's important to recognize success or see it or imagine it for yourself a little bit before stepping into it.
gonna think about that for a little bit.
Because it's like I definitely have experienced like things where it's like this is awesome, but it's like I can't take it on, or like
Did you feel like you weren't ready, or it didn't feel right to fully fill?
Yeah, I think you know, there've been times where I've labeled it as like not being ready and stuff like that, but I think really it was just like that was just that experience for that time. And
Good point.
yeah, I think if like you have access to one opportunity, like it's very possible to access like better opportunities if you've experienced that initial opportunity. Getting like hippy dippy or whatever, like whatever you notice in your field, you know, like that can be something like you pour energy into. It just depends on like what you choose to like put in intention and focus into. And I think like just being able to maintain like focused application has been the struggle, because I'll like go in all these different directions. Yeah.
Focused application in your craft or in aspects of your life?
Both, you know. It's like
Likewise, there's a lot to keep an eye on.
yeah, and also like recognizing how complex does it need to be.
Yeah.
You know, like I wanted to get to this a little bit in the conversation. You know, it's like I feel like we've had very heady conversation, like cerebral, and I appreciate it. Like that's part of why I like your art, and that's part of why I like you. Like you're really good at making connections. I think your connections are interesting, and I think how you think about things is interesting. And I think it's cool that I can follow a little bit, you know?
Likewise, I feel the same about you. Yeah.
Oh, dope.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
I like that you have language to portray those ideas.
Thank you, dude. Someone told me that, like, and this is in the past, like, I'm good at breaking down complex things into simpler stuff. I felt like there's been, like, a disconnect with that. So I'm, like, trying to get back to it. Because ultimately, I'd love to break down higher symbolism into simpler visual language to put into the work and stuff like that, or just to communicate with my homies. You know?
Yeah.
And like how I like to think about it, because it's like back in the day I used to smoke a lot of weed. Like, and that's also why I over-explain things sometimes.
I know, me too. Yeah.
How could I explain something to someone who was really high and then they would get it?
Yeah. That's how I think of at my job. Yeah, literally. Like, how do I explain this really big idea into an understandable sequence of words?
Yeah.
But it's cool because then it helps yourself as well understand your thoughts.
Oh, for sure. Like, I'm not smoking now, but like I like that idea, like that one phrase, because even though like a lot of times I've been explaining to people who are not high on, you know, weed or something like that, I feel like sometimes people are just in altered states of being just from emotions or interacting with technology or driving or interacting with certain people. So I feel like it's like a blanket statement that's helped me across the board for like people in different states of being. But yeah, it's like I've been having like a lot of heady conversation. It's like, what about the heart? You know, it's like the simpler way of communicating that's sometimes like feeling based, but can sometimes be more powerful. You know, it's like, what about that? And like, how do you feel about sort of talking from that location or whatever that is for you?
That's kind of like what I'm in search for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like can be very analytical.
Yeah.
Which is nice. But I do crave like simple interpretation.
Yeah.
And maybe part of that also has to do with trust and things that don't always have reason or answers.
So we're back recording, just to let you know.
Oh, okay.
Hey, what's up, bro? I just saw him on Friday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, for a podcast?
He did a podcast.
Oh,
He's
cool.
actually like the next one I'm gonna release.
Awesome.
Yeah. No, I was just like chilling with Josh and we were drawing and like the day walked past. So, but like, I feel like I love journaling. Sometimes I'm like, I realized recently like writing is essential for me to develop deeper art and to like get back into that place where my mind has redeveloped that muscle. Because it's just like, that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, because last time I saw you, we were talking about depth in work and like how I haven't felt like I've been making things that have more depth, and I want to get back to it because people like that stuff. I like making that kind of stuff. I feel like it has a more timeless quality sometimes. And but journaling just seems like it can be a lot. Like I have a lot going on, and then I want to get it all on paper, and there's just not the time. And that's why I picked up bullet journaling. That's why sometimes I don't write down my dreams. Back, it keeps dying.
Hey.
I'm not sure what's recording. But yeah, like, I feel you. Like sometimes being okay with things being not incomplete, but like just what they are, and then being able to have not being able to decipher like what to invest more time in and like when to walk away from certain stuff. Because like you're talking about like chaos and sometimes trying to understand and control, and like I grew up in an environment where there's a lot of chaos, and when I started to experience other environments, then I started to realize like what worked for me and what didn't work for me. And it was also like a strange combination of like control and chaos, you know? And I think like just like you know, understanding like what works for you and what doesn't work for you, you know? Just like how do you want to live, and when chaos or order, structure like complements that or like hinders that.
Yeah. I think that's like another challenge that all humans have to like come across. Order and structure, especially when it comes to ruling yourself, and discipline, control, relinquishing control.
Yeah.
So this conversation makes me wonder, what are some ways that you feel like you're able to connect to your heart more, to the emotional aspects of yourself?
Well, it's like right now, like just like checking in with how I feel. Like it's like I feel like the undercurrent of emotion that's like becomes like easier to just sort of like experience. And not even necessarily like realizing that was going on like initially, you know? It's like sometimes I don't notice like what the undercurrent is. And sometimes like doing different things or going through different processes like just help me understand what was there already, you know, or what I was feeling. And those are the two, because I think just like naturally, like I was wired a certain way, and art, and I'm gonna say it, even though I don't smoke right now, like art and smoking weed help me tap into my emotions more and understand my emotions.
Yeah, I feel that way. I stopped too, and like I think it's another matter of like, okay, how do you connect with your emotions outside of seeking something outside of yourself?
Yeah. So like writing helps, you know, like being able to talk with people where I can have more expansive and sometimes abstract conversations and like longer conversations. Because sometimes it's like I can't squeeze it into like 5 minutes or like 20 minutes. You know, sometimes people, like I like being expressive and being myself, but at the same time, like, when I say things straight up, like sometimes it rubs people the wrong way. And like when I gotta be in proximity to them often and stuff like that, you know, it's like sometimes I pull it back just because it's like I'm not trying to get into that right now. Or it's like I'm not in the mode to like not give a fuck how you feel, like, and just say what I want to say. It just depends. It's context sensitive. So. But in terms of like getting towards the heart, you know, it's like I'm still trying to figure it out. You know, it's like there's been some stuff that's bothering me, and I don't know where it comes from. I don't know how to deal with it. And the only things I can do about it is like, you know, exercise and make art about it. You know, even though I don't know what it is. I know that I just gotta move it somehow. And then there's other things where it's like, shit, like I know I just gotta take care of this. So let me just take care of that. I feel like what a lot of people refer to as adulting just like takes up a lot of time and bandwidth. And, you know, I'm trying, like I want to figure that out so I can work on my personal stuff, but it's like I sort of got to work on it all at the same time and just like juggle it.
I think what also makes it like I have to tell myself too is that like it's my first time being like, and I don't say this as an excuse when I know I don't say this as an excuse, but like I also have to remember to give myself grace and not having it all figured out at the same time, you know? Because I don't know, like it comes with time too. But, and also, like, maybe us not knowing, at least in this moment, not knowing, like, direct ways we can reach our heart. Not saying that we don't know, but maybe we don't know as much as we'd like to. Is also okay. Because what we know now is more than what we did before.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe what we knew before worked, but it wasn't sustainable.
Exactly. It was like a shaky foundation. Yeah.
So then this ties back to what we were also saying earlier, like building on something to make it rich. And that could also be applied to how we access our emotions.
Yeah.
Because it can be easy to access it through other, like, substances, you know?
For sure. And you know, like, I don't know what has changed for me, like, in the past year. I think, like, I just need to spend some time, like, taking care of my body and stuff like that. But it's like when I went to Mexico last year, it's like, you know, I went to like Tulum, you know, which is like super resorty and stuff like that. I don't speak enough Spanish to get by, and like I had to meet up with people coming in from other destination or other locations. So it's like the first part of my trip and the end of my trip is like solo, and it's like worrying about like how am I going to be received, you know? And it's like really just like centering myself in my heart and being like, yo, as long as I come from this space, you know I'm going to be good. It's worked for me in the past. It'll work for me now. And it did. You know, it's like having that like trust and that belief. And then I don't know what's like disrupted that a little bit. And that's what's made me sort of uneasy. But I also sort of like realized like when you're able to like maintain belief in yourself in that regard, or like center yourself in a certain space in your body that feels like safe or confident, like that's very powerful, and like that's able to allow you to either overcome things or like create or complete things that can be very beneficial to you, you know, like.
I think there's more to gain in the feeling of being safe and confident than there is to gain in feeling less than.
Like unworthy or
yeah.
Insufficient.
Yeah, because it's pretty crazy if you really think about like how you're saying how we're composed of cells and cells make up livers, and like I think we're pretty worthy of admiration if cells could build up just that many cells could build up just one part of you.
Yeah, like the body is fucking amazing, but at the same time it's like we're dealing with so much, not even dealing, but we interact with so many different things, and we have our experience of life, or maybe like not even the knowledge of the body. It's like it's just like whatever, you know. It's like it's nothing special
because we're in it.
Yeah.
I haven't. Do you have an interest in anatomy?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm pretty interested in anatomy. I was looking up last night like what would be like a nice way to go about it.
I think it's different for everybody. You know, like I was gifted a really cool Korean book on anatomy for artists. And I've had it for 2 or 3 years, and I still haven't dove into it. You know, like I've started, but haven't been consistent.
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those things where it's like you just got to develop the practice. So if there's anything that you already have like a practice in, I think using that as like a template to develop another practice.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun doing that. Like, do you have something that you're pretty consistent with that like you make in like? Do you have something that you're consistent with that you're like, okay, I'm gonna set aside this time in order to dive into it, and it's like a fun time.
A fun time?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Maybe a book?
Yeah,
I think
reading.
of reading.
Reading for sure is that for me. Like I consistently enjoy reading, and sometimes I don't acknowledge how much I enjoy reading. Yeah. And I'd like to set more time aside for reading instead of, I don't know, like I scroll YouTube a lot. Sometimes I should just be reading.
Yeah, I know, me too. Is there there's so much knowledge on YouTube though that's like wow, like, and it's specifically catered to your interests, so it's like but is there like I know you showed me that book, was it the Fundamentals of Design?
The one I showed you earlier?
Yeah,
Design as Art by Bruno Munari. I don't know how to pronounce this last name.
Is there like a certain type of literature you like to?
Like comfort literature? Or just like
any type of literature that you find yourself drawn to, I suppose.
all different kinds. You know, like I'm usually reading like a few books at one time. I really like science fiction, but I haven't read it in a while. I've been reading like a lot of metaphysical books over the past couple years. I've been reading a lot of self-help books over the past couple years.
Do you feel like those help?
I feel like those have bits of information that are very useful and stuff like that. But also it's like, it's not as fun as reading other things. And self-development is great. But also like, I think it's good to like set aside time to just enjoy life. You know?
Like get away from yourself?
Well, like,
Maybe not get away, but...
For me, like in the past, like watching movies and playing video games was always like a great way for me to get out of my own head and just be somebody else for a little bit of time. So then I wasn't thinking about what was going on in my life.
Yeah.
And having that pause, like that break, was super beneficial for me coming back and having like fresh eyes or like just more air in terms of like, okay, like now it's easier for me to think about this in my life or what's going on here or what's going on there. Okay, so like I've been running out of battery.
Yeah. Okay.
I just want to say, like, where can people find you online?
My Instagram is in the tall trees. The E's in trees are 3s. Yeah.
Nice. And do you have like a website or a blog or anything?
I'm making a website right now, but I have everything is linked on my Instagram page.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I have a Tumblr though. A Tumblr. My Tumblr username is expansion into one, and the one is just the number 1.
Cool. I'll have that like written down on like the posts and stuff like that.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. And we can just talk until like it runs out or whatever.
Okay. I think moving forward, we should explore ways we reach our heart.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's a great question. It's something like I've had like in the background. Also, like, I think belief plays a part in it. And I think belief, and I don't think there's just one way. You know?
Yeah.
I think like humor and joy help a lot, you know?
Yeah. That's part of why I want to find more words on happiness and joy in order to reframe how I perceive reality, you know?
Yeah.
Like changing my default words. Like earlier I noticed, I think you had said like there are a lot of things that happen that humans have to deal with, but I noticed you corrected yourself into saying like come in contact with or like have to engage with, and I like that because then you're reframing